Healthcare and the rising cost. Don't get hurt. Cost you an arm and a leg just to fix it. It's extremely expensive. It's actually outpacing our inflation rate, which is ridiculous because the healthcare premiums are continue to rise. And that's hurting our seniors the most. It needs to keep pace with general inflation. It shouldn't outpace general inflation. That's ridiculous. Anyway, we're looking at new ways to help reduce healthcare costs. The biggest part of cost is visiting an emergency room. That's where all the action takes place. Like, for instance, most of the clinics close around 5, 6 o'clock. So if you get hurt anytime after that, you don't have a choice. You got to go to the emergency room. So we need to consider taking our clinics because they can operate 25 to 35% less overhead than a hospital. You could open up a clinic 24/7, okay? Put your doctors and nurses on, and they'll be able to provide you health care a lot cheaper because they have less overhead and they can operate more efficiently, especially areas where I'm at. There is nothing open right now. Something happens, you got to go to emergency room, nearest hospital, Las Vegas, Merced, or farther. And not only that, we need to consider opening clinics inside the hospitals, okay? Passing a law, okay? That'll reduce healthcare costs throughout our nation at every hospital and every clinic around, okay? And get more open. We got to increase the competition. If you increase competition, just like any other market, you increase competition, that's going to get everybody to drop their prices, okay? Well, back to the clinics. We need to put the clinics inside the hospital because most of the time that's where the biggest expense is, because you go to the emergency room. And usually 75% of your visits to the emergency room don't end up in an overnight stay at the hospital. That's about 25% or so that end up having to really need, emergency situation. So at least 75% of this or so, a large portion of it anyhow, could be eliminated if a clinic was available at the time. So that's why we need in-house clinics. And once you get to emergency room, they'll triage you real quick. Okay, well, clinics can handle this. Then you'll go and wait in the clinic department. That way you save on your healthcare costs. And if it's emergency, so be it. So we need in-house clinics at our hospitals, okay? Because they're already there. This is the cheapest way to get it. You don't have to build another structure, okay? And then you already have clinics available. So just keeping them open longer hours. So see, there is ways forward without having to build more hospitals or build more clinics. We can utilize the ones that are already in place. By doing it this way is the best way forward. But the main thing is getting those affordable healthcare clinics installed within all hospitals, passing laws, making it mandatory. Because like I said, right now, if something was happening to me, the only thing around is hospitals. Everything else is closed for the day, okay? So we can get our clinics open, 24-hour clinics, and also making sure that you're signed up with a local clinic, making sure everybody knows they're familiar with your healthcare and your family's needs. If you don't have a healthcare clinic, you need to go get signed up, introduce yourself, let them know what kind of conditions you have, and see what kind of services you offer. If you get a cut, can they stitch you up? If you break a bone, can they set it? Things like this. What type of services are your clinics set up for? So you'll be more prepared when an emergency does come. But there is affordable ways out there, and we need to start utilizing them because healthcare costs are off the planet. It's ridiculous the way Washington has set this up. And we got to work on our COVID regulations. That was inhumane what they did. They suspended our operations and our procedures, especially for cancer patients and terminally ill folks when the COVID restrictions hit. And not only that, it sent shockwaves through the healthcare industry, even hurting the healthcare workers because they were laid off because they suspended their right to practice medicine. That was extremely irresponsible because the healthcare workers took a hit. They have student loan payments. They got mortgages. They hurt the healthcare industry workers. And also they suspended our healthcare rights. And they caused people to live in extreme pain. And they go months and months without getting the surgeries they needed. Okay? That's ridiculous. The healthcare has to be available 24/7. And doctors, nurses have to be able to practice medicine anytime. So if you learn anything from COVID, the next COVID comes around, they need their ability to practice medicine. And people need their surgeries and they need their treatments. That is inhumane. That was poor leadership and bad vision designed that. And not only that, lots of people lost their jobs and businesses. That was ridiculous what they did. You set our healthcare industry back probably 10 years or more. And the pain and suffering that the people go through, not only here in our nation, but around the world. That's ridiculous. Leaders in Washington, ignorant, inhumane COVID policies, done more damage and more harm to the people in the industry throughout the world. And they're supposed to be leaders. They're supposed to be leading by example, showing how to do things a lot better. Bull. It's time to drain the swamp. Time for new leadership. Until next time.